we just struggled as a couple. Like, sorry, like getting
Yeah.
really nervous. But do you want to talk?
Yeah. Well, life before the cause was pretty volatile. Addiction was a pretty big part of our marriage and dealing with the struggles that come along with it. Like, I was very skeptical of church and everything related to it until I started going to the cause. But for 2 years, her and I dealt with addiction being in our marriage, and eventually I had a breaking point, and I sought out going through the divorce process. But for me, the biggest thing that changed everything was Kim and I were still separated, and we were meeting in parking lots to drop the kids off for her time and my time. And this particular instance, I met up with her, and she looked and seemed like a completely different person. Like, I didn't really recognize her. She just seemed like surprisingly happy and different. So I asked her what had changed, and she said at church that weekend she just had given up everything, surrendered everything over to God, and I could literally physically see it in her face and her body. And so that for me was just all right, we're doing this. I gotta get there too.
And I think God knew that it was gonna take me to get to that point for him to actually get a hold of me to where, I knew that wasn't what he had for me. But it was in that moment, when I prayed and I surrendered everything to God, it's I knew that he had changed something in my heart, and he was gonna see it through. It wasn't just gonna be where I was gonna get sober for a couple months and life's gonna be great. It was God wanted to do all this amazing stuff in our life and through us. It wasn't just that one little thing he did.
We just made it a point to keep going to church and keep developing that, and
we started going together again, and
yeah.
Every weekend, it's even though we were still living separately, we would go together to church together on the weekend and start doing that. We moved out from our parents' house and got into our own place together again, and got our family together and kept going to church. And then we started doing school of leadership and just kept getting ourselves plugged in as much as we could. It's when I went to church and I experienced what I experienced, I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to stay a part of that. I wanted to serve. I wanted to be around all these people that had experienced this amazing thing too, and just feel I just felt like I belonged, and that's where I was supposed to be. And I wanted my family in that too. Having God do this amazing thing in my life and change me and my heart, it's I really wanted to serve. When I first heard about the 101, when I first coming back to church, it's I went and I signed up for serving. And for me, it was this is something that I get to do. I am a part of a church. Who would have thought that, a year ago where I was, that I would be able to get to do this. And it's not something I have to do. It's I get excited when we get to go to church and make people feel welcome, because I was at that point where I was showing up and I didn't have anything and just felt so broken that I get to be that for somebody else and make them feel welcome. So
I really enjoy it. Just getting to interact with people and just let them know that I care about them, God cares about them, and then see them come back. That's the best thing ever. It was 100% a miracle. I tell everyone I meet that. It's me and my wife experienced a miracle, because we shouldn't be married still, and we are.